What if the way you think helps you succeed or worse, helps you fail? That's the conversation today in the training, all about thinking becoming the bedrock of helping you succeed or being in the way of your life's goals, your life's dreams, things that you feel like God's placed on your heart. What if the way that you're thinking about them actually stands in the way or it actually helps? That's the conversation today. I'm going to just give you a few key points to think about, things that I personally have been kind of walking through over the years and constantly trying to get better at, to understand, to pray about, to personally say, okay, my responsibility. God created you, God created me, and I have a unique responsibility upon how I think because I'm in control of that regardless of the situation, right? So the first thing is thinking has an opportunity to create clarity. Thinking has an opportunity to create clarity. I don't believe that most people are actually unproductive. I think most people, and it just feels a little bit logical to me, maybe not. I think that most people are actually working in a fog on all their tasks, all their activities, both personal and business. And you think about it, we're in constant motion. We're in constant conversations on the phone or in person, email, text, DMs, social media. Our phones are, miniature, televisions if you want them. Watching, at least what I do is watch a lot of sports, right? So our brains are in constant motion. And if we're not careful, all of that creates mental clutter. And so as we go to do things that are important to us, as we go to do things that matter, if we're in a constant fog, then we cannot think clearly. We can't make great decisions. As a matter of fact, the reason why we can't make great decisions is we're not even seeing the reality of any situation for what it truly is. And what do? We make quick decisions, we make hasty decisions, and then we get frustrated. And if the situation isn't turning out the way that we're wanting it to turn out, or that it's going the way we want it to go. Now, look, I'm not suggesting that you become an amazing thinker, that everything works out perfect. That's not the goal. There's Miles making a cameo today. But it's all about how you process what is going on. And if you're in a constant state of fog, then we got a problem already. So we understand, number one, that the purpose, that thinking has an opportunity to, you can sit down over here, thinking has the opportunity to create clarity. Number two, thinking transforms planning into strategy. It's not enough to just process the thought. It's not enough to just think about it. But when we have an opportunity, regardless if it's maybe you're working with a challenging employee. Maybe you're a business coach and you're trying to figure out, you're working a plan to create a workshop as a way to, get connected with more business people in the community, in personal life as well. Well, if all we do is just okay, let's just do this, and we don't really stop long enough, take a step back and watch and look and view the whole thing that's going on, we don't have an opportunity to begin to move planning into strategy. So what do I mean? It means we just begin to do things because it feels really good. This is a key point here. It feels really good to feel like we're doing something for the sake of doing something. And when we haven't thought it through, we don't recognize it's not just about checking the box. Productivity oftentimes feels like, look at how much of my list I got accomplished today. But when we plan correctly and we're strategic about what we're working on, the question isn't about how many items did I get done today. It's, did I even do anything that mattered? Like, all of the projects, the tasks, the things I worked through, were they the things that matter the most in my life, in my business? Are those things that are going to help me move forward? Maybe you're even trying to, deepen your relationship with God. Maybe you're taking more time to pray. Maybe you're taking more time to read scripture. Well, I can tell you, just being transparent, it's really easy for me to go, okay, this next, X amount of time, I'm going to, do my devotions every morning at 6 a.m. But I can do that and just check the box because I read the devotion, but it didn't really matter. Did I really think about what I was reading? Did I examine what it would matter in my own personal life? That's why thinking has an opportunity to transform planning into strategy, right? A business scenario, let's say that revenues are soft. And if we're not cautious and we don't allow thinking to transform us into planning, to strategy, we can go, man, we've got to have more leads. We just need more leads to get more customers. Well, that may be true, but what if there's other things that are in the way that it's not allowing the needle to move forward because we're not really planning effectively, and thinking allows you to do that. The third thing, these next two ones are big ones to me. Thinking anchors you when things aren't going well. Thinking anchors you when things aren't going well. Look, um, don't care how long you've been in business. Don't care, your industry. If you're coaching, doesn't matter how long you've been coaching, 10 years, 2 years, 2 days, doesn't matter. The reality is we're going to be presented with a number of challenges forever. We're going to go through seasons. Some of those challenges are going to be way bigger than the others. Some of them will feel unfair. Some of them we will actually, we did not cause them. Like, for instance, COVID, huge challenge for everybody that we did not create on our own, but you still had to deal with it. Here, there's an example that you have a choice. You get to choose how you walk through it. If you don't think about it and really take time to take a deep breath, you can get emotionally charged and get disconnected from the things that matter the most. Why? It gets frustrating. There's going to be times where you feel violated from an employee, where somebody who maybe have worked for you for a long time and things were great until once something broke. Just the relationship fatigued, doesn't matter why it got there, and you feel like, man, I did everything I could to do well for them. I gave them, more than what was required. Like, you feel like you did your part, yet they turned their back on you. That kind of stuff does happen. And it's the stuff that you got to walk through. Thinking gives you a chance to anchor, to step back, go, I don't want to make an overly emotional decision, make a wrong decision or an erratic decision. I want to be able to do one that's honorable. Thinking gives you the chance to do that as well. So when problems gets bigger, we often react bigger. And sometimes that reaction is just an explosion. But when we are thinking, problems have an opportunity to be solved in a much deeper way, in a unique way that actually matters. Last one. Thinking allows you to multiply progress when things are going well. Think about that. Thinking allows you to multiply progress when things are going well. See, sometimes we let the foot off the gas and we don't do things the way we need to do them because, you know what, we're in a great state. Things are going well. We're making progress. Hey, things are going. Sometimes that progress becomes, seasonal over and over, and it's just easy for us to take the foot off the gas and to not do what we need to do. Sometimes we need to ask the question and thinking deeply about progress. Hey, things are going really well. We're hitting our goals. We're actually exceeding them. But if the wolf got into the pen, what would happen right now? Like, we should ask questions even when things are going well. Like, where are some soft spots? Where are some weak spots? Where are some moments of that could, nothing lasts forever. You're going to have weak seasons that you'll come out of. You're going to have great growth seasons that will stop and you might dip, because that's just the way life is. But when we're not really taking time to think, things can become more difficult or they can be amazing. So here's my practical, what I would do if I were you scenario. One, you need to have some big rock thinking moments throughout the year. It's just as easy as far as I'm concerned. We all think in quarters. So 4 times a year, you're taking some time to get away to think. That taking time to get away could be an afternoon or it could be a trip. You make the decision on what that looks like for you. But the point is that you're taking some time to think about business and you're thinking about life, all the things we talked about, what's going well, what's not going well, examining projects, ideas that you've got in the incubator, in your Chrome dome, if you will. Like, does it matter? What's moving the needle? Who on the team is, we need to help them improve? Who on the team is like, hey, there might be a better seat on the bus. Like, whatever it looks like, that's a time to do a deep dive thinking on all things life, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so it's easy to do it in quarters. Obviously, if things are going, if you're walking through some big challenges, you might have to do more than 4 times a year to get cleared. All right, that's 1. 2, monthly. We think monthly. We just want a little bit of time to really pray, process, and think about what's going on. We don't have to get as deep into our quarters, but it does allow us to, in the moment, opportunities. This is going to shift a little bit depending upon the size of team you have. Like if you're in the service-based industry and you are one of the main sales guys, your time is very different than somebody who has a business like that, who is, they've got team members that hired at all the key areas. And so time matters, right? Bandwidth matters. So you got to be practical about what I'm referring to. So that thinking time monthly could just be a couple of hours or maybe just an hour, but you need to take some time. You don't want to just have 4 times of thinking only, because here's what will happen. You'll get things back to center. Let's just say it's, springtime. You'll get things back to center, but it's really easy to drift and to navigate off the plan and to make poor decisions. And then you get into the summer months, you're like, oh man, what happened? Well, you didn't have any other little breadcrumb moments to kind of to remain solid, if you will. So you got your monthly, and then certainly every single week. I'm a big fan. The first of the week at some level to really think about the whole plan, to think about it deeper. And we're not talking about what do I need to do just from a task perspective. We're taking time to God pray that you would just give you the opportunity to think about this situation, this progress, what's not going well, what is going well. And usually you got to get into a different environment, at least I do, to think at a different level. Otherwise, I'm going to think about all of the things that are going on in the moment that I have to deal with, that are the tasks that are important, that must get completed, that must get done. But if I remove myself from that environment, things can change. In the summertime, I go on the lake and do that, right? Just because I get away, I'm away from the typical noises or whatever. For you, it might be very different. It's up to you what that looks like. We are also, my wife and I are also fans of a quarterly retreat style. And when we do that, that's also an opportunity to be able to think. So you make the decision. But regardless, 4 times a year, that's your big thinking moments, right? You can take a whole day, you can take a weekend, you can take 2 or 3 days to really just get into the weeds of thinking about what's going on in your life. Number 2, monthly. Number 3, weekly. If you'll do that consistently, you're placing consistency in your life where thinking becomes the bedrock of progress, of solving life's biggest challenges that are going to happen, but also multiplying the progress. God sometimes gives us these amazing things. We say thank you, and we just leave it there. And I think it's rewarding to go, thank you. How can I just take this and maximize the gift that God's given me? I think that's where amazing things can happen. Relationships, business, whatever it may look like in your life. I hope that makes sense to you today. As always, don't just let this be information. Take action, as hard as it may be sometimes, as hard as sometimes emotionally, you just don't feel like you're in it. Those people, I can tell you this, those people, somebody who is consistent with thinking to do the right things, when they're doing it day in and day out, you'll find somebody who's in movement of progress for success in their life, whatever that looks like, business and personal. Somebody who is just, they are moving around because of the tyranny of the urgent. They take no time to think. They're just checking off the list. Everything's overwhelming. They're emotionally charged. You'll find somebody's life is messy. And life's going to be messy, but let's do our part to be responsible, to do great things, and it starts with thinking.